Environmental radicals, some of them foreigners, are breaking the law in order to bottleneck Alberta's resources. Down in Burnaby, there have been a series of illegal protests, highly organized by a coalition of radical environmental organizations. Some of them have even spoken up in favor of so-called eco-terrorism. Look at this quote.
If people were to perform any acts of eco-terrorism, I wouldn't be against that happening.
That's from somebody who's saying that he supports using violent tactics, as has been done before in the so-called war on the woods in British Columbia in the forestry industry. Why aren't more political leaders denouncing these threats of violence? Well, actually, there has been violence. Protesters down in Burnaby have actually injured RCMP officers trying to enforce the law. Here's an example of one of those incidents.
Come on, push him! Push him! Push him! Go! In the forest! Why'd you have to chase him like that, huh?
You guys! Like, seriously!
Why'd you chase him?
Don't touch me again.
And now what we have is a federal government that's doing and saying nothing about this, really. When Justin Trudeau was asked recently in the House of Commons to clearly denounce the aggressive and increasingly violent illegal tactics of these protesters, including those who are foreigners, guess what Justin Trudeau did? He stood up and read this bland statement in the House of Commons.
The Prime Minister remains MIA on the approved project altogether, and he's silent about violence at the construction site. Last week, 173 protesters were arrested for breaking the ruling. One protester even shoved a police officer to the ground, causing a knee injury. Another was kicked in the head. Does the Prime Minister condemn this violence?
Government supports every Canadian's right to peaceful protest and to have their voices heard. We live in a country where different voices can be heard in a peaceful way. We have taken a decision on this project that is in the national interest, and we are committed to seeing this pipeline built, and we expect all protesters to act within the law.
I'm sorry, Prime Minister, that's just not good enough. We need you to stand up and make it absolutely clear that foreigners who come up here to break our law in this way will be immediately deported, that we will have stronger border security to do everything we can to prevent foreign radicals from coming here with the intention of breaking our law. We need you to support our RCMP, who are doing their best to protect the rule of law, and some of them who are being injured in the process. And you need to make it absolutely clear that Canada will not tolerate another war in the woods.